Hey up everyone, Magpie Gaming here. I hope you're all doing well. In this video we're going to talk about the recent event or events that we've had in Escape from Tarkov and what could be coming next in the game for future events basically. So before that, I'd just like to ask you good people, if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, if you could consider doing so, that would be amazing, or at least leave a thumbs up on the video if you like it, or a thumbs down if you don't, that is fine. So we recently had two events, one which is currently sort of ongoing and one which lasted 4 days. Now the 4 days one was the dehydration event, so there was an image that came out, and if I can find that image I'll throw it up on screen for you, and it was the fake weather report, which is what we got in the events before the wipe happened. And it was basically, we had a heat wave, so to simulate the heat wave they doubled in-raid hydration, and because everybody would be buying more water in a heat wave, they reduced the amount of water that you could buy from Therapist. It went down from 5 bottles to 3 bottles, and then after 2 days they removed water from the Therapist completely. So for a couple of days you had to make sure that you were rehydrating your character a lot more often than usual. Then we've had this current event that's going on, and we had this, I'll put this image up, this is the English translation of a Russian sort of mock-up text that was put out, and from what I can gather from community posts and videos and that, this is something to do with reducing the price of keys within game. They've increased massively the fees with which you have to pay when you put them on the flea market. I don't really understand where they're going with this one. I think a lot of people said they're trying to make keys cheaper. Well, if you wanted to do that, then just increase the spawn rate of them. That would be the best way to do that. So I don't really understand this current event. I wouldn't really consider either of these things events though. They're just tinkering with the game, which kind of annoys a lot of people, and a lot of people like it at the same time. The dehydration one, I wouldn't call that an event. That was just them limiting something. Now there was a Russian podcast recently where Nikita spoke about a lot of subjects. I don't know if he spoke about this recent event and what they tried to achieve with it, so I don't really know where their sort of end goal with this was going, but a lot of people in the community says, oh, they just wanted to see what would happen if they changed something. Well, it's not rocket science. If you reduce the amount of something, then you increase the price of it wherever people can get it. So it doesn't make sense to do that for 4 days just to see how people react. You knew exactly how people was going to react to it, so I don't really call it an event. I call it a test more than anything. And I didn't really play much during those 4 days. I didn't bother because I just felt that in-raid dehydration is already too high. It doesn't mimic real life. A character wouldn't dehydrate that much within 40 minutes. It's ridiculous. Although I understand that they want to have a food and liquid mechanic in there, and for that to work you've got to sort of exaggerate certain things for people to use them. If dehydration was like it was in the real world, then we'd never use liquids within the game, so I understand where they was coming from with that. But for me, an event would be something like adding a load of raiders to small dorms on customs and saying you've got to kill 25 of them. You've got 4 days to do it, and for doing so you'll get a load of XP from a quest, like a temporary quest or like a weekly quest, something like that. That would be an event for me. That would be something that would centralize everybody to a certain area. You would end up with a hell of a lot of PMC fights as well as PvE fights as well. That's an event to me. That's giving people something to go at, giving people something to get into. Whereas the dehydration and this current key one, they're not events. I just don't agree with the name. They're just changes within the game. They're tweaks and changes to see what will happen when you do, tweaks and changes to see how people will react. But they're not event. But in the recent podcast which I mentioned, which was a Russian one translated to English, they did say that they have 60 to 80 events planned for the game. Now they don't give a time scale on when we will get these events. We've more or less had 2 events within a week, so will that be a repeated cycle? I'm not too sure. But Battlestate have said that they've got up to 80 planned. They don't want to repeat any events though. Although depending on what the event is, I think some of the community might like certain events repeating, so we'll have to wait and see. Much like what you get when you have a pre-wipe where they've turned all scavs into raiders. I'm not saying that they should do that, but maybe open up labs and make that free for a couple of days for everybody to go on. Or, like I say, put raiders in a certain area. You can put lore around it as well and say these raiders got lost and got holed up in small dorms, and you can go and farm them. Not saying that you would make them 100% spawn on every customs raid, but maybe do it the same sort of percentage as what Rashala spawns in at, and just let people go farm them and go for, just an XP quest or something like that, or even if you've got the chance of getting like a weapons case or something like that. You know, that's the kind of event that I want to see. I want to see something that actually benefits the player. Whereas at the moment, the dehydration one didn't really benefit players. Yeah, it would have pushed people to take liquids more, which it'll boost their metabolism score, but overall, who really cares? It doesn't really make a huge difference in the game. So yeah, let me know in the comment section down below what kind of events you'd like to see, and you know, what you'd like to see them put in as. Would you like to see them repeated every now and again? Would you like to see them maybe as just like a quick daily quest where everybody's got to jump on within a set like 24 hours? Or would you like to see it just like a 4-day event like what they've done with the dehydration one? Let me know in the comment section down below what you'd like to see, and we'll get a conversation going with this. So as always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching and listening. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Stay safe, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care.